Welcome everyone to another episode of Anchors Away. I, of course, am Nate Karsner and joined alongside by my dad, Kevin Karsner, as we continue to talk about Seattle sports and what's going on in the whole Seattle area. Some disappointing things to talk about today on this episode. Again, we pushed it back. Just was not doing well on Monday night, so pushed things back to Tuesday. But we'll still get all the news out and talk about our opinions and how we feel about things. Before we get into it, how are you doing? How are things up in Kentucky?
Yeah, doing well. It's been a nice week so far. Starting out with a great weekend, great festivals. Just kind of starting to get towards the end of summer here, but we're still supposed to kick in another 90-degree day tomorrow. So we'll take summer while it's here, and then it's supposed to get cold. So, or
Fair enough.
relatively, mid 70s. So
Yeah, right. For us now, 70s is cold.
yeah,
Back
it's like,
back in the
oh, that's
day, it was
cold.
like, oh, that's a nice
Uh,
temperature.
so other than that, though, no, things are going well. How about yourself, sir?
Yeah, overall, well, can't complain. Like I said, Monday I was not in a good spot, so that's why we pushed things back to Tuesday, and then episodes come out Wednesday now. But hopefully, normally we'll get back to just the Monday recording, Tuesday upload, Thursday recording, Friday upload. We'll get back to doing that. Okay, well let's dive into it because we're gonna the way I at least have this set up is a bad thing, a good thing, a bad thing, and a good thing. So to kind of break up the unfortunate parts of this weekend. But let's get this timer popped up here. Let's get things going. 5 minutes is on the clock, and if you go back to our last week episode when we previewed the Mariners versus the Angels, you called it being a trap series, and goodness, was it a trap series? As the Mariners go from first in the wild card to third in the wild card, dropping three of the four. Let's hear it. What do you think?
Wow, brutal. Injuries galore too. Unfortunate about Eugenio being on the 10-day. And the thought is, he was on such a hot streak that
Yeah,
I'm hoping that he can get back onto it, but his timing is going to get messed up.
yeah, I
So
agree.
thank God for Carlos Santana to kind of
Saved
slide
us.
in
Yeah,
and went, let me hit some home runs.
yeah,
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Cal Riley, I'm not happy. It's kind of unfortunate about the thumb. Luis Torrens is there, so he'll be helping to spell out some of the catching duties, but that was unfortunate, especially with his hitting of home runs. And then, of course, with
yeah.
Julio, I know he was trying to get back into the game today. I don't know if they pulled the trigger or not.
I think he is. I think I saw him in the lineup today.
Yeah, so I know that was a thought there. So, but yeah, boy, when you go up against Ohtani and Trout was hitting like going out of style,
Yeah,
it was the trap game, the trap series. California is not a bad team. They just weren't able to pull it all together this year, and they've had Seattle's number all year anyway. So yeah, it wasn't surprising. Losing 3 games in a row, though, that was surprising. I thought we could have at least gone 2-2. 1-3 is not good. They're already halfway to, I think, what I was thinking. They needed to go 14-6 in the last 20 games, so they're
yeah,
already halfway there on the loss column. They're going to have to pull it together, but at least they get some teams here now with the A's and the Royals and the Rangers, I guess, down the road here. That hopefully we can beat up on those teams and get back into it. But yeah, just scary facts. I kind of just went, oh, are we going to be the ultimate choke again? As far
yeah.
it crept into my thinking.
I
I
mean,
don't know about you,
no, it doesn't. Just looking at the standings, that the one benefit, I guess, is we have 5 games on Baltimore. And honestly, right now, if we stuck with the third wild card, I wouldn't be upset playing Cleveland.
no,
It doesn't scare me, but it would have been nice to have the 1 seed to at least get that home series. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if I honestly I like the matchup against Cleveland more than I do Toronto or Tampa Bay. Um,
right. Well, and that's even if Cleveland can keep their,
that's yeah,
things
yeah,
together because Chicago's right there behind them. I
yeah. It
mean,
looks like they're 4 games back of Cleveland right now.
yeah, I tell you what, this has been the most fun though for getting ready for playoffs with this extra wild card.
Yeah,
Beautiful thing. Thank you, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely just gives more teams and it's obvious, but it gives more teams the opportunity and makes like September baseball like worth paying attention to for teams
Oh
that
yeah,
normally would not pay attention to.
right,
Obviously in September, like the Orioles, they are right there. Obviously, I want Seattle to make it more, but I think it
right,
would be fun to see Baltimore in there after the last. They've kind of been the Seattle of the East for the
right.
last few years. Granted, they made it more recent than we did. I think the big thing that worries me a little bit with the Mariners off this series is the starting pitching. For being a little bit honest, I think it's definitely not. Like they can bounce back. It's not going to be the end all. Like this is what we can expect going forward. But Robbie Ray with 5 runs. We need to do something about Marco Gonzalez giving up 5 runs as well.
Yeah,
Fortunately, Logan Gilbert kind of saved the day in that final game. I guess 2 days ago from when this is uploaded. But
yeah,
and the other thing, it's like we were so good in 1-run games last year, and it feels like it's going the other way this year.
yeah.
At least the few times I have noticed 1-run games, and it's like the first game of the series 8-7. That would have been like it would have been opposite for us a year ago,
Right.
and same for the 1-2. That would have been 2-1, and then we're talking about we just won 3 out of 4, and we feel pretty good going forward. So.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but yeah, like you mentioned, injury is definitely not a great thing to happen, especially when
Yeah.
Eugenio was just on a tear there for felt just like a long time, but it might have been like a week or something. But just every other game it was like a home run and like a clutch home run, and interesting stuff. I like you said, 14-6. I think is. I'm still hoping they get the 12, like I said. I think after this series, that might be realistic.
That might be realistic. Yeah.
But it's nerve wracking. With that said, though, that is our time. So let's go ahead and get to some happy news. With the let's restart the timer here. Let's go ahead and talk about the University of Washington Huskies.
Yeah.
When I saw the spread on that day that it was a 2-point favorite for UW, I was saying I would bet all my money on Michigan State and would have felt really comfortable about it.
Right.
That turned out to be a big mistake, as
Okay.
UW gets a huge win of 39-28 against the former ranked number 11 Michigan State Spartans. What a breath of fresh air for Husky fans after having to live through Dylan Morris, and now they get Michael Penix Jr., who continues to just show out. This must be the best year he could have asked for, at least through the first 3 games. Almost 400 yards, another 4 touchdowns. Kalen DeBoer's looking very smart for getting him to transfer to UW.
Oh yeah. Yeah, in fact, it was interesting. I was reading an article. I mentioned about Michael Penix when he was at Indiana.
Yeah.
He had went 5-1 before he got injured. So I was hoping he'd go back to that. Well, look and hope. Yeah, he's back to that level. And that was with Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
So there's something about him, and
for whatever reason, that matchup fits.
That matchup works. Thank God Husky fans are, praising. It's okay Heward isn't starting this year.
Well, I mean, too, it's like, and I will never understand this after watching last year for, the times that we did. But it's like, why do you put him in at Wazoo? Like, well, they were at UW, but for the Apple Cup, when, like,
right.
That was just, it felt like a mistake.
It was.
They did that. And I think, at least, fortunately for DeBoer, he was like, okay, maybe Heward's not the guy right now. Let's find somebody to bring in to, like, really, make us competitive. And like I said, fortunately, Penix was, I guess he wanted to come here. So
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Because he was in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And then when he heard Kalen DeBoer got the job, he actually reached out and said, hey, I'm in the transfer portal.
Yeah. Would you like me to come to UW? I'm available.
So he was excited. He was like, I'm going.
Yeah, no, can't be happier for him and the team, at least through the first 3 games.
Right.
Kind of looking forward, though, kind of how you mentioned the Angels were going to be a trap game. Stanford coming into town, that feels like a trap game as well.
That's a trap game.
No matter how bad Stanford is and no matter how bad UW is, it always feels like they play very well against each other. It's kind of like the Seahawks 49er thing, where no matter how bad the other team is, they're going to play hard.
They're going to play hard.
What are you kind of looking at when you hear Stanford coming to town, sitting at 1-1 right now?
the biggest thing is I think that game, of course, being Stanford, is going to be one in the trenches. Um,
Yeah.
and where does this going to sound? I'm thinking the Washington Huskies may have the slight advantage this year on that one, and I think they should pull this one out. But like you said, it's a trap game. Stanford can come out of nowhere and do something. But yeah, boy, it's going to be on the trenches and how we do. If we can stop their run game and shut down their tight ends, I think we got a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think going back to at least previously with Stanford, it feels like they like to throw it to the tight end a lot, and maybe I'm just like thinking this, but I feel like whenever I watch them, they do that. So it's going to be interesting seeing like the linebackers against the Stanford tight ends.
Yeah.
At least for a while there, UW was DBU, so I feel decent about their DBs. The secondary.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're going to be pretty, especially like in this last game. I was really really impressed by the DBs of the Huskies.
Yeah.
And shockingly so, because they did lose some players from the draft. So yeah, they're doing good. It could be a surprising year where last year they went 4-8. They could actually go 8-4 this year.
Yeah. One good thing here with just wrapping up. Looks like Jackson Kirkland should be available for UW on Saturday.
Okay.
So at least that's what Sports Illustrated is saying right now. Looks like a lot of the guys that did get hurt will be available on Saturday. So that's at least a good news for them.
Yeah.
Kirkland is he'll probably get drafted in like the top 3 rounds if he stays healthy and progresses. Yeah, 6'7", 340 pounds.
Yeah,
definitely has NFL size. So I know I drafted him in Madden not too long ago, and he's turned out pretty decently for me. So we will see how that goes. But definitely looking forward to that game, and good job for UW, surprising a lot of people. I think getting that.
I think so.
Win. And with that said, 5 minutes are up, so let's restart the timer. Let's go to the third quarter here, where we're back to bad news. Well. Let's be honest. Maybe this is what we were supposed to be the whole year. Seattle injuring the 49er franchise quarterback and Trey Lance reminded me of
they didn't need to do that, did they?
No, but I was thinking about this before we jumped on. It reminded me of when the Cowboys came to town in preseason and they injured Tony Romo and Dak Prescott took over.
That's right.
And he led them to a 13-3 record, made the playoffs. Obviously got bounced because that's what the Cowboys do, but. Are the 49ers now poised to just go make a run with Jimmy G? Like, I think a lot of the veterans wanted to be the starter anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, congrats to Seattle. I mean, I'm sure he's actually kind of happy because he made $350,000 winning that game on Sunday.
Right.
As part of his bonuses. But let's just kind of talk about this real quick. I don't want to spend too much time. I mean, we have 5 minutes, so we have to do our 5 minutes. But let's talk first off with Geno Smith. And if you look at his stats, he played another great game. But the thing that happened last year is he had a lot of these games and he can't move the offense.
Right. He can manage the ball.
Yes. He only had the one interception. And if I remember, it was it was like off the hands of somebody.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But he just can't like string long drives together. And that's the part that makes me a little bit, well, it does make me nervous, is he has great stats, but we can't do anything with it. The offense technically had 0 points if it wasn't for Tarek Woolen and Mike Jackson, again, recovering basically a fumble. I think that's 3 on the year. It would have been a 27-0 game. What do you think Seattle needs to do with that quarterback spot? Continue to let Geno ride it, or do we look at Drew Lock eventually?
Well, first of all, I think, just kind of looking at it, as weird as this going to sound, I think you got to let Geno cook.
Yeah.
I think they've held him back. I think they got to open up the playbook. You started to see some of that with the trick plays, but get rid of the trick plays.
Oh, can we not let DJ Dallas throw the ball anymore? That was bad.
Get rid of the trick plays. But still have some of those plays in, but let's have the right players, throwing the football. But Yeah, the play calling's got to open up for Gino. He's been with the team. There should be no
Yeah.
reason not to. But in the first half, totally different game than the second half. They were a little more efficient, but going back, in fact, for the whole this year, I think they've only played 2 solid quarters of football, and that was the first half of the Denver game.
Yeah, that was it.
And now it's been 4, what is it, 6 quarters of 0.
Yep. Yeah.
They are not being aggressive. I haven't even seen the run game. I mean, I think
no. Rashad Penny was the highest rusher with 15 yards on Sunday.
Yeah, Ken Walker, he's going to be okay once they get his feet under him here in the next game, hopefully. But
some time.
I'm still stupefied with the play calling. I don't know if we just get coordinators who don't know what they're doing, and that goes for both sides of the ball, unfortunately, right now. I'm not seeing, the defense being, unique and different than last year. We're still having the same plays go against us. We're probably a smaller defense than maybe what we'd like to be. But we're fast, and I think some of that is causing us to have over pursuit, and then we're trying to tackle with an arm because we've over pursued, and they're rattling off 12 yards on a run play every single time up the middle. So I don't know what to do. When you can sit at home and call a better game on both sides of the ball than what they have, I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
frustrating.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I mean, I think the big thing with the defense right now is missed tackles. Like you said, maybe they think they're like so, and I think media's done this too. But like we've had, it's probably the fastest defense we've had in a long time.
Oh yeah,
and they definitely are over pursuant and not breaking down enough. I mean, some of the angles I've seen from like the safeties coming up, not Quandre because
he's doing
pretty,
well.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him, but and I think a little bit is like just game time, like Josh Jones. I mean, he's been in the league for a while, but he just doesn't play consistently. And the one where Brandon Ayuk just slips right past him on a bad angle, that makes me a little nervous. The other thing is like we have no like run defense up the middle, like you said. Our guys are getting bullied, and I get San Francisco has one of the better offensive lines in the league, but that was just not good.
It was a beatdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But fortunately, that's 5 minutes, so that's we no longer have to talk about that game.
Thank God. Yeah.
Seattle does host Atlanta, so Marcus Mariota kind of gets to come home, I guess, as close as he can, for being an old duck. But let's restart the timer here and get back to some good news. Now that we're done with that one, after the fourth quarter, Seattle Kraken are right around the corner as their regular season starts on October 12th against the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Let's talk about the Kraken because we've kind of gone almost not a full year, only like 6 months, but it feels like a long time. How are you feeling about the Kraken going into their second official year?
A lot better than the first year.
Yeah.
We, of course, being the second year, you have a little bit more knowledge about what you're dealing with, player wise and style wise, but feeling pretty good. I think they're definitely going to score more goals this year, so that's a plus, and I think they'll definitely move up in the rankings a little bit. How they'll do overall against the Pacific, I don't know if this is the year they make the playoffs yet or not, but definitely you want to make that to moniker. But I think the third year is really when they'll make the playoffs. If they do it this year, fantastic. But they got a little bit of work ahead of them, of course. But no, I really like what they did in the offseason, through the draft and through some trades. So it's going to be exciting. I think we're also getting some players back, like Turbo Tanev coming back. So that's almost like a pickup in and of itself. So with as much time he lost last year.
I mean, he played maybe the first 2 weeks before he got that season.
I know. So it'll be interesting. And, sure, the goalie tandem was a little rough last year, but, with a full year now under his belt with Grubauer, I think we picked up some defense people as well, some defensive help. So that should help him as well, because that definitely was kind of lacking last year.
Yeah, a lot of those goals I did not blame on Grubauer.
No. Yeah.
I feel like the defense just, and to be fair, it's their first year. I wouldn't expect them to mesh perfectly.
Right.
But yeah. I agree with that. They should be a lot better on defense.
Yeah, and being down there, starting up Thursday with the training camp and stuff, it'll be interesting to see how Shane Wright gets some ice time during this opening season to kind of figure out where is he going to be with the NHL, or is he going to be over there with the what is it, the OHL, I guess it is.
Yeah, I don't remember the official one.
I can't remember if it was in the.
I think it's I don't know.
Is it the Ontario Hockey League? I can't.
It's the league below Seattle. So
Yeah.
just call it for that for now.
Yeah.
But speaking of Shane Wright, I got dailyfaceoff.com up right now with the projected at least first line, and I kind of want to hear your thoughts here. But they do have the left wing as Andre Burakovsky, center Matty Beniers, and right wing Oliver Bjorkstrand. Right away, Matty Beniers only played 10 games, but he had 3 goals there. Bjorkstrand at 28 goals, and Burakovsky at 22. So immediately bolster that offensive scoring power, bringing in those two. When you hear that as a first line, how's that? Do you feel good about it? Is we'll see, or is just?
Yeah. I like that. You got the veteran presence around him to help him if he does have a miss up or something, because they'll know, they'll be able to see what he's doing, because he's an excellent two-way player.
Yeah, very good.
And so he is going to be crashing the boards, and he will be down there trying to get the puck out. And so I think they'll really will do well as a front line. I'm excited for that front line, actually.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, it's hard to be not excited for it when you got 2 guys over 20 goals a year.
Yeah.
Which they really need to help with scoring last year. So hopefully, it's only 2 guys, but hopefully that can, bolster everyone else. I mean, Jared McCann will be back, who led the league, or not the league, but the team in goals. Yanni Gord is back. Lots of guys to be excited about. And then, you said,
Jared McCann's back. He had a breakout year last year, so picking up that extra little extension on the contract too. So he'll
first ever extended Kraken player. So, but yes, and then Brandon Tanev back, which will be a big help as well. He's just a crazy player who likes to score. One thing on Daily Faceoff, at least for now, they don't have Shane Wright on the team to start off the year. Is that a surprise, or is that kind of expected with the player, still pretty young?
Probably expected. However, he may make the team.
Yeah.
It's that young of a team, and you look at it and go, well, do we start the era of Kraken now, or do we wait a year? I would say let's get him and Matty playing together, at the same time on the same team, and build that team going forward. So wouldn't surprise me if he actually does play.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's fair. Just kind of looking at the centers that we have, if there's an injury, I think he's definitely called up right away. If not, definitely at least mid-season. But I wouldn't be surprised if he beats out Morgan Geekie also. So
yeah,
it'll be very interesting following training camp, seeing what the guys there. Why can't I think of the head coach? Ron Francis, GM, and then whoever the coach is.
Haxtell.
Yeah, Dave Haxtell, is that his name?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see what they do. With that said, though, that's at least a happy way to end the show today. Is bringing in some Kraken.
Hope springs eternal. Hope is coming.
New things to look forward to as we start to wind down the Mariners season, which also is going to be a crazy end to that year. However, it is. But before we close everything out, any final words?
Yeah, just a couple things on people, actually. Congratulations to Alexandra Mandricki for being named assistant general manager of the Kraken. She happens to become the 6th female to be named to a front office position like that. So congratulations. That's pretty cool. Forward thinking of the Kraken. I think hockey is farther ahead than most of the other sports in that. So pretty exciting, especially diversity wise. I think hockey is so far ahead of a lot of the other sports. It's amazing. And the other thing is, just in passing, Maury Wilds, fantastic baseball player, former Mariners coach back in the 80s, henceforth the logo.
Gotcha.
Passed away today at the age of 89. Serious with being a coach with the Mariners wasn't so great, but his baseball career was fantastic. So I always think of that, and But again, just a just a glance, just a passing moment. Thanks Maury for the entertainment, being a player, and certainly as a coach too, a manager. He had some interesting mistakes as a manager, but he was okay, not a problem.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, fun show tonight. Like I
Yeah,
said, some sad thing or disappointing things, some good things. But with that said, we will be back later this week for another episode as we look to see what the Falcons are bringing into Seattle on Sunday. And then hopefully the Mariners turn things around against Oakland, and we're at least able to talk about some happy
absolutely.
Mariner
Yeah,
news rather than sad. With that said, though, thank you all for watching. Go ahead, subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you like and what you don't like. Until next time, this has been Anchors Away. We will see you all in the next episode.
have a good one.